Helix mono presets are better. Take one. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It has been a long time since the last video and I apologize, but I've been working on a bunch of other things, producing records, did a little bit of touring. There's been a lot going on, so I apologize for the absence and I will try to do better. Over the past few years, I've really started noticing the use of mono guitar. And I know this is like a complete, like it's a blasphemous word amongst guitar players. And I'm probably immediately people are gonna be like, nope, not into that. And it's sad because there's a lot of benefits to working in mono. So I'm gonna try to explain a little bit of it today. Every track that you heard, every guitar track that you heard in the intro video, they were all done tracked mono. Now let's go through and hear every single one of those tones. If you dig these presets and like these sounds and want them in your rig, there is a link in the description below to all of my presets. I'm working on building up a lot more Stomp presets for all of you HXstomp and Stomp XL users, but all of these are available in Stomp format as well. There is a link to the Stomp presets as well. So go check them out, leave a comment if you've bought one and like it. If you hate it, leave a comment, I'll delete it, and it's great. So we're all working together, it's a community. So the preset, it's, you know, compression, overdrive, any modulation, whatever, into a mono amp, mono cab. There is a stereo spring reverb, because I knew I'd lose everyone if I was like, yeah, it's a mono reverb and everything. If it was totally mono, then you guys would just all just pass and skip the video. So the only thing stereo in this that's making a stereo image is a little bit of the reverb. Even the delays, everything is going into the front of the amp, just like most guitar players set up their rigs. When they set up their, the rig for the first time, it's plug all their pedals in series and then just straight into the front of the amp. Quick story. I was fortunate enough to do some shows with an artist that we opened for, Miranda Lambert. And her band was massive. 3 electric guitar players, bass, keys, drums. There was an acoustic player, plus Miranda herself. And I think she maybe even had like a background vocalist or 2. I went backstage where all the rigs were, and they had, all their amps in a big rolling like cart that built part of the stage. And I looked and there was 3 amps. That was it. There were 3 electric players. There were 3 guitar amps. And I quickly realized, like, oh man, you all are running in mono. And so I went to the front of house engineer, the sound man, and I asked him, like, man, okay, talk to me about mono. Because at that time I was like, man, I'm running a Helix and I got a matchless on this side and I got a, plexi on the left and, hard pan them and they sound great and all that. So that was my mentality. So I asked the sound engineer why everyone's in mono. He's like, well, first of all, there's no room. And I was like, I don't understand. I mean, we're on a big, PA, big platform, all that stuff. He's like, no, man, there's no room in the sonic spectrum. He's like, we got a, guitar on the right, guitar on the left, kind of rhythm dude down the middle. We got all this other information that we have to, include in the mix. And it was such this sobering, like, it's not about you. moment, which for us guitar players were extremely egocentric. Everyone, look at me, look at me. To get told, like, no, it's not about you. It's about what does the mix need? What does the band need? What does your bandmate need you to be? Man, it really started this journey of, okay, how can I simplify my rig? I did another tour. The engineer asked me, he was like, can you take your panning and bring it in like dramatically? So I took my stereo hard left and right and I brought it closer to center. And he was like, man, thank you so much. He goes, that makes the mix sound so much more like powerful and intense. And we were doing it was a rock tour. And so that's all we wanted. We just wanted to be like, you know, a fist of sound. Since then, I've been working on building presets that are mono based. I might have said it in another video, but you are the only person who benefits from a ping pong delay or a ping pong tremolo or any type of, you know, modulation thing that's going hard left and hard right. You are the only person who is enjoying that. You know, you, the guitar player, you got your in-ears in, and man, it just sounds like you're swimming in a cavern of bouncing delays and things like that. Only 1/3 of your audience is hearing that exact thing, if the engineer even has you panned left and right. People only dead center in the venue are going to be able to hear this beautiful pan left, pan right, you know, ping pong delay. Everything else, people on the left are only going to hear bop, dot, dot. People on the right are only going to hear, you know, dot, dot. They're only going to hear that. If you're in the studio, man, that's a whole other story, because say you got, you know, this one guitar part and like, oh man, it needs to be wider. There are so many tricks in the box that we can do as producers and engineers that you'll sound huge and wide, and it'll even be wider than you could even make it, even, you know, in a Helix. So everything, it's a functioning preset. It's got delays, two overdrives, a boost, and a reverb, and there's a tremolo in there. So these are really for the simple guitar players who want just a few options, down the middle, just fist of sound. These are just the workhorse presets, and your studio engineer and live engineer is probably gonna thank you. That's just my opinion. Right now, I have this vintage V65, which this has kind of been my number one for a minute. And I'm going through the French amp, whatever, I can't remember the name of it, but they based it on some French mountain. Anyway, this is neck pickup. Here's the bridge. Middle position. If you get this preset bundle, it doesn't come with a stock cab. It comes with a custom IR that I made. It's a 212 Jensen. Open back, but I've really tried to dial it in to maintain some of the low end, especially if you know, put a little drive on it. There's a Timmy. This is the Prince of Tone. Sounds like guitar. It sounds like a guitar tone that I'd be more than happy to gig with. But it comes with that IR. Each one of the presets is kind of dialed in that amp to my ears. Maybe on your guitar, under your hands, it might require slight tweaking, but as we all know, sometimes these Helix presets out of the box can sound pretty rough. Let's do something a little different. This is the Plexi, okay? Now, same like layout, same cabinet, totally different amp. on the from the Timmy. Sounds like guitar. Here is the Fender Twin preset. Same cab, same guitar, same layout, everything, same compressor, same everything. All right, here we go. Neck pickup. A little dirt from the Prince of Tone. So for you bridge players. Sounds like different guitar. I'm such a fan of like getting the guitar part. It's what you play, not so much how you sound. You need to sound good, obviously. But once you hit a threshold of tone, man, just really focus on what you're playing. Compliment the band. I would always just encourage people to come with options from their hands rather than options from their pedals. That's a good word. That doesn't mean, don't have good gear, don't have good tones, don't have, a good preset, a good foundation. I'm not saying that. Have all those things, but don't let that be the main thing. Let the main thing be, what am I playing? What's asked of me? Am I able to do everything that this band, this musical situation, this church, this artist, this venue is asking of me? And they're like, oh yeah, play a, half diminished chord, and you've never played a half diminished chord? Maybe work on that instead of dialing in the exact amount of modulation on your tape delay. Just saying. It may be a little more important to know how to play than how to sound at times. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Would love to be able to speak into your guitar musical lives however I can with whatever little information that I have. So thank you guys. If you're interested in getting more of a deep dive on these presets and on this type of tone building and maybe why I'm using the Helix in this particular way, I do Helix lessons, FaceTime, WhatsApp, Skype, Zoom, the whole nine, and we can go as deep on the Helix as you want to go. If you want to control a spaceship with all MIDI commands, we can go there. If you want to know how to put a tremolo before an amp or after an amp, we can do that too. Whatever you want to cover in your lesson, we cover in your lesson. Consider subscribing. Yeah, we'll see you soon.